You are training hard every day, but still not seeing the muscle gains you want. What if the type of protein you choose is quietly limiting your progress right now? Most people assume beef is always the best protein source available for building muscle fast. But science reveals something surprising that most fitness people have never actually stopped to consider. A humble glass of milk might actually beat beef when it comes to muscle building efficiency. This is not based on a fitness blog or someone's opinion from the gym locker room. It comes from peer-reviewed research using isotope tracers that track amino acids directly into muscle tissue. Welcome to Real Health Logic, your source for evidence-based health insights backed by real science. Today we are breaking down one of the most underexplored protein comparisons in sports nutrition ever. We are comparing beef protein versus milk protein in a way most fitness channels never do. This is not about taste, cost, or which food is more convenient to prepare at home. This is strictly about what the science says when we look directly at muscle protein synthesis. Let us start with the biggest study, because it gives us the clearest and broadest picture first. A systematic review was published in the International Journal of Sport Nutrition and Exercise Metabolism recently. Researchers analyzed 116 different studies involving more than 4,700 total participants. They examined 11 different types of protein and tested various timing protocols across all those participants carefully. The result was striking, and honestly, not what many researchers expected to find when they started. Out of every protein category tested, 2 proteins stood out clearly above everything else examined here. Those 2 proteins were milk protein and beef protein, ranking highest for muscle mass and strength. And when measuring actual muscle mass gained over time, milk protein came out slightly ahead overall. This surprised many experts because beef has always been considered the gold standard of whole food protein. So why did milk protein edge ahead when it comes to putting on actual muscle mass? Part of the answer is how strongly milk protein stimulates insulin after you consume it post-workout. This insulinogenic response, when timed correctly around training, creates a powerful window for nutrient uptake into muscle. The same study identified pre- and post-workout timing as the most optimal window for milk protein. So the timing of when you drink your milk protein matters just as much as the amount. Now let us look at a smaller but incredibly detailed study that explains the biological mechanisms involved. Researchers at the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition conducted a tightly controlled tracer study on protein absorption. They gave participants exactly 30 grams of either milk protein or beef protein in a controlled setting. The amino acids were labeled with isotopes, essentially placing a GPS tracker directly on each amino acid. Then researchers measured exactly where those amino acids went using blood samples and direct muscle biopsy results. The very first surprise from this study was something almost nobody in nutrition expected to see here. Beef protein actually absorbed faster than milk protein, which goes against what most people have always believed. That is genuinely counterintuitive, because whey, a part of milk, is known for extremely rapid absorption normally. Both proteins activated mTORC1 similarly, which is the body's master switch that turns on muscle-building processes. mTORC1 is triggered mainly by leucine, which is the single most muscle-building amino acid in the body. Leucine is the driver of muscle protein synthesis above every other amino acid present in your food. When you consume protein, leucine is the key signal that tells your muscles to start growing and repairing. So when researchers measured peak blood leucine levels, the difference between the 2 proteins became very clear. The milk protein group reached 277 micromoles of leucine per liter of blood measured. The beef protein group reached 231 micromoles of leucine per liter of blood measured. That 46-unit difference may look small, but in muscle biology, it carries real and meaningful weight. Higher leucine exposure directly translates to a stronger and more robust muscle protein synthesis response in the body. Milk protein also produced significantly greater muscle protein synthesis within the very first 2 hours after consumption. By the 5-hour mark, both proteins had leveled out, and the overall totals were quite similar. But that early spike from milk protein is important if you are trying to maximize post-workout recovery. So, what does all of this actually mean for your real-world daily protein nutrition strategy going forward? If you had to choose only one food forever, beef would still win that argument without much debate. Beef is nutrient-dense and packed with B vitamins, zinc, bioavailable iron, and an ideal protein-fat matrix. But if you are specifically optimizing for muscle growth and recovery, milk protein holds a measurable scientific advantage. The smartest approach is to use both proteins together in a strategic way that maximizes your results. Consume 20 to 40 grams of whey or milk protein around your workout for a rapid leucine spike. Then follow that shortly after with a beef-based meal to extend your amino acid delivery across hours. Because whey absorbs quickly, even when consumed alongside dietary fat, you do not need to eat them separately. The whey gets into your bloodstream fast, while the beef trickles amino acids slowly into your system. Research published in the journal Nutrients found that 100 grams of protein had a remarkable effect overall. Even 100 grams of protein was still releasing amino acids into the bloodstream 12+ hours later. This means your body is far more capable of using a large protein dose than previously thought possible. The old idea that you can only absorb 30 grams of protein per meal is simply not accurate. Your body stages the digestion process and releases amino acids gradually across many hours after a large meal. This finding completely changes how we should think about protein distribution throughout the entire day and evening hours. Now let us add something the original research did not fully cover, but is critically important to understand. Scientists describe a concept called the muscle-full effect, which explains how muscle tissue handles protein synthesis timing. Muscle tissue has a saturation threshold for protein synthesis that can be reached at any given moment. Pushing more protein beyond that threshold in a single spike does not automatically create more muscle growth immediately. However, newer research challenges the old strict ceiling of only 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal. Because casein, the slow fraction of milk protein, is digested gradually, it distributes amino acid delivery over time. This slow delivery keeps you below the saturation threshold longer, extending the anabolic response over many more hours. This makes a casein protein shake before bed a genuinely useful and science-supported strategy for overnight muscle repair. If you combine whey around your workout with casein before bed, you cover both ends of the spectrum. Fast delivery when you need it most, and slow delivery while you are sleeping and your body recovers. Another important concept here is protein quality scoring, specifically a measure called the DIAAS score for proteins. DIAAS stands for Digestible Indispensable Amino Acid Score, and it is currently the most accurate protein quality measure. Research using DIAAS consistently ranks both milk protein and beef protein among the highest quality dietary proteins available. Critically, both proteins exceed the leucine threshold thought to be required to fully activate muscle protein synthesis. That threshold is approximately 0.05 grams of leucine per kilogram of body weight per meal. This threshold concept is exactly why the leucine difference between milk and beef protein actually matters biologically. It is not just a number on paper. It directly affects how strongly your muscles respond to eating. When you exceed that leucine threshold, you trigger the full muscle-building response your body is capable of. When you fall just short of it, your muscle protein synthesis response is meaningfully lower than it could be. This is why protein quality and leucine content matter far more than simply hitting a total gram number daily. 200 grams of low-quality protein with low leucine may not outperform 100 grams of quality protein. Both beef and milk protein consistently push you past that threshold, which explains their dominance in the research. Now, many people wonder whether they should buy whey protein, casein protein, or a combined milk protein blend. The answer depends on your goals and what point in your day you are consuming that particular protein source. Whey protein is fast-absorbing and produces the most rapid leucine spike, making it ideal immediately around workouts. Casein protein is slow digesting, releasing amino acids across 6 to 8 hours, making it ideal before sleep. A combined milk protein contains both whey and casein together and provides a more sustained and balanced release profile. If you want the best of both worlds, a whey and casein combination surrounding your workout is very effective. You get the fast spike from whey and the extended amino acid delivery from the casein fraction together. Then adding beef to that meal gives you the complete micronutrient package that neither whey nor casein provides. Beef brings zinc, which is essential for testosterone production and the immune response your training places under stress. Beef brings B vitamins, including B12, which is critical for energy metabolism and proper red blood cell formation. Beef brings heme iron, which is the most bioavailable form of iron found in any food source available. Beef brings creatine naturally, and creatine is one of the most well-researched performance-enhancing compounds known to science. No protein supplement can replicate that full nutritional package that you automatically get from eating quality beef regularly. So the strategy is never beef versus milk protein as if you must choose one and reject the other. The strategy is using milk protein and beef protein together because they complement each other in genuinely important ways. Milk protein gives you the rapid anabolic signal and the insulin response that maximizes your post-workout recovery window. Beef protein gives you the micronutrients, the sustained amino acid release, and the whole food matrix your body needs. Together, they create a protein strategy that the science consistently ranks above any single protein source consumed alone. Let us also address a common mistake many people make when they first start trying to optimize their protein intake. They focus entirely on total daily grams of protein and completely ignore the quality and timing of each source. Getting 150 grams of protein mostly from processed sources with low leucine content is a missed opportunity. Instead, structure your intake so that high-quality protein sources like beef and dairy anchor your daily protein plan. Have your whey or milk protein blend before and after training for the insulinogenic and leucine spiking benefits they provide. Have your beef-based meals in the hours that follow to sustain amino acid delivery and cover your micronutrient needs. Have a casein source before bed to prevent muscle breakdown during the overnight fasting period your body naturally enters. This three-part structure is simple, evidence-based, and covers every phase of the anabolic process across a full day. You do not need a complicated supplement stack or expensive products to build muscle effectively if you follow this approach. Real food protein sources like beef, milk, cheese, and yogurt are capable of covering nearly all your needs. Supplements like whey protein and casein protein are simply concentrated and convenient forms of what already exists in whole milk. They are not magic. They are just milk protein separated and dried into a powder for practical convenience purposes. Understanding that removes the mystique and helps you make smarter and less expensive decisions about your protein supplementation choices. The research is clear that you do not need to overcomplicate your protein strategy to achieve excellent results consistently. What you need is quality protein from sources with high DAS scores and adequate leucine content at each meal. You need smart timing that places fast proteins around your workouts and slow proteins during extended fasting periods like sleep. And you need consistency. Because no single meal or single protein shake will overcome a chronically inadequate daily intake. The body builds muscle over days, weeks, and months, not in the hour immediately following a single workout session. So the most important variable by far is simply getting enough high-quality protein consistently across every single day. Beef and milk protein together make that goal easier, more nutritious, and more effective than relying on either one alone. That is the real takeaway from this research, and it is a remarkably simple and practical conclusion to apply immediately. Stop thinking of beef and milk protein as competitors and start thinking of them as a powerful nutritional partnership instead. Use the science. Time your protein intelligently, prioritize leucine-rich sources, and your muscle-building results will reflect that effort. If you found this breakdown valuable and want to keep making smarter evidence-based decisions about your nutrition every week, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to Real Health Logic so you never miss an upcoming episode. Every week we translate real peer-reviewed research into clear and actionable strategies you can apply to your own life. No hype, no guesswork, no supplement sponsorship bias, just honest science explained in a way that actually makes sense. See you in the next one.